Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Annie, and my job usually is to make your hair your favorite accessory, but today I'm going to show you how I apply my false lashes, my at-home lash extensions to make them last as long as possible. So I've had a few people ask me to do a little in-depth tutorial, so I will do that here. And I'm going to show you tips, tricks, the styles, the tools, the prep, everything that I can. I've been using them for on and off 3.5 years. The last year has been like pretty consistent, like almost every single week. Minus like this is like the longest time I've gone without them, like a week. But I will just jump on into the video and keep on watching. I use a FlutterHabit. I'm not super dramatic when it comes to like my lashes. I want them to look like I have lashes on, and like my lashes to be done, but I usually just want them to look a little bit more natural. All of the styles from FlutterHabit have like brown and black, but I just go for black because I like it. It looks more dramatic and I like that, but not too dramatic. Okay, so if I want to be more dramatic, I will go for the wink. And sorry, everything's gonna be like reversed, but the wink is good. Most of these are all like cat eye looks because I like it to kind of like taper off. I don't want like a really fluttery lash. And I will leave all these linked down below as well as like my link so you can get 15% off of your order. But if I want more of like a natural, not so long and dramatic, these are my go-to: the Willow, Aster, I think that's how you say it, and Water Lily. So they come with like a certain amount for like if you have bigger eyes or anything like that. I usually only use 3 segments. All of them come with like little segment pieces, and as you can see, I usually always leave one out, mainly because you don't want to put it directly on the corner. You want to put it slightly in so it doesn't like get caught, for like them to last as long as possible. And I don't go all the way in because technically like where you see lashes on your eye is kind of right here. It's not all the way in. So for my eye shape, I usually only use 3. You can cut them if you want. This is just what works best for me. So those are like my 4 go-to styles. And when it comes to tools, seriously, you need the black. What is it actually called? Made for this black glue. Do not get the clear. Clear is going to make you look like you have like dry skin. It's going to look a little flaky unless you can get like the perfect amount of glue, which I mean, I've been doing this for 3 years and I still sometimes it's not that perfect. Okay. And then you want the FlutterHabit, or I mean, there's other brands that have this, but I mean, why not just get it all? They have the Prep It Adhesive Primer, okay, in black. This you put on first so that when you put your lash on, it just kind of adheres and sticks to it better, while this main glue sets and gets tackier onto your eyelash, okay? So these are kind of, well, this is a need, and I would say this is a need as well. They just recently came out with one where it's like just like one tube is the prep, and then the other one is like a seal it, which is like you seal it because like sometimes it gets a little sticky. So this seal it part just kind of makes it not sticky. I would get the double-ended one, but if you just wanted to get just like this prep it part, that's fine. Once again, I would recommend black, but you can do whatever you want, okay? And then I have tweezers. That's how I apply them. Make sure all of the glue, there's no glue, okay? You do not want a single bit of glue on any of the tools, any of your fingers before you apply, okay? So there's glue on here right now. I will say the glue is kind of hard to get off of like the tools and stuff, but you want to make sure you don't have any glue, any stickiness, because that's going to make attaching your lashes a million times harder, okay? So I have just regular tweezers. They're like angled tweezers. And then I have this from, what is it, Impress, but you can get like a kit from FlutterHabit that has pretty much tweezers and this, and maybe they have little scissors. I'm not quite sure. I don't use this all the time, but it is nice to have to just kind of like press them together once the glue's a little bit more dry. Okay, so that is the main thing. These are the tools I would say you need, and make sure you don't have any glue on your fingers or the tools you're gonna put on. Okay, all my tools are prepped and I am ready to adhere my lashes. Okay, here's my lashes right now. They kind of go Kakiwanka. I think it's from using this in the sense of like they kind of push, I don't know. So these are my eyelashes before. I also have no makeup on or anything. But you want to see before you put the glue on. I mean, it is a little bit of trial and error to figure out like how many segments you need for your eye or if you need to trim them, all that kind of stuff. I like it to be fast and not take a lot of time. So I only use the 3. Okay, so how you're gonna wanna do it is, okay, let's say, so you have it like this because that's how you're gonna put them on your eyes. That's how I lay it down on the counter, okay? And then I'm going to take each one of these off, take them off with the tweezers, and then I'm going to put them over here so that I can put the glue, and I'll show you how I put the glue on. Okay, so I have this lined out and now I'm going to use the glue. So what I'm gonna do is pick it up and then put like a 3D bubble along the lash line, which I'll show you. Be careful because when they reformulated this, kind of like a glob comes out. So you just kind of want to be a little bit careful. So put the glue on here and we're gonna let it sit and get tacky. And make sure you get glue on the corners as well. Okay, and as reference, here's what I mean by a 3D blob. Okay, let that sit. Then you're gonna take the Prep It. I'm trying to show every angle and it's just like really hard. So then you're just gonna kind of brush. Try to only do the base of your lashes, but it's inevitable. You're gonna get your whole lash covered. Now, hopefully the glue is dry enough, okay? And then I'm gonna start on the outer edge. It's so hard to show, but what I do, I used to lift my eyelid like this, but don't do that because I feel like when I would do that, I would get too close to my waterline. You wanna get it right on the lash line. And then I use the back to push it in so that glue really sticks to my eyelash, okay? Slightly overlap if you can. Easier said than done. Hopefully you can see. When you do that, try not to breathe. And like, I mean, try not to blink, but I mean, you're gonna blink. Okay, this is trial and error. Like I said, I've been doing this for an entire year straight. So I like know the dealio now. This one is the one that I always get too close to the waterline so it gets in my eye. If you get glue in your eye, have a wet Q-tip at the ready. I should have said that before as part of the prep. Okay, and keep in mind, it's gonna feel weird because you have something glued on your eye that you don't normally have on there. Like it's a little bit too in my waterline. It'll probably bug me a little bit today, but then it'll be fine. Okay. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the other eye. And I'll just like come back. I'll show you how you use this thingy. You just go through and if you're gonna pull, like let's say it gets stuck, okay? So like sometimes it gets stuck. Try to pull it like not down or out. Try to pull it back. So like if that makes sense. So like let's say I have it, pull it, like open it and pull it back, because if you pull it forward, if the glue isn't tacky enough on your eyelashes, then you're gonna pull the, what is that called? The segment off and ruin everything, okay? So you wanna pull it back because that's where your actual eyelashes are. And if you pull back, then you're not pulling anything off. Hopefully you're not pulling off your eyelashes, you know what I mean? And then the front one. Now I will do the other eye. Okay, so I just glued the segments. They're down there drying. The first time you do this, it's gonna take a while until you really figure it out. Now it takes me, I'm not gonna say 5 minutes, maybe like 7 to 10 minutes, which is still pretty good. And my eyelashes usually do last 5 to 7 days without any touch-ups. Sometimes I'll do touch-ups and like put glue on like the end of this. Usually it's just the ends that kind of come up. But yeah, I usually only do 7 because I don't really wash them, which is kind of gross maybe, but I want them to stay on. Hey guys, it has been 5 days since I first filmed that video of initially putting on the lashes, and I wanted to show you if your edges start coming up, but you can still get a few more days out of your lashes, how to tack the edges down, okay? Glue, and I just snapped off the end of a Q-tip. Now what I'm gonna do is get a little bit of glue on like that. Wait a second. And then what you're gonna do is, okay, see how the edges are coming up? You're gonna try to, with this, put it on the back of the lash. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in here, but and then try to push it up. That one was kind of tricky because it wasn't like the whole edge like this one. The actual edge is coming up. So, okay, make sure it's tacky. And this is great when you have the little clamp. So it just gives you a little bit extra hold while, because like, you know, like sometimes it's like, okay, the rest of it is like really intact. And if I were to take these off, eyelashes will come out because the glue is still pretty good on there. I like to do this the end of the Q-tip because then you can just throw it away. Hopefully that tip was helpful. So I don't know if you noticed, but something caught. Just don't rip, okay? So I think I do have glue on my tweezers. So when I put that on, it was kind of like catching on something. But there you go, okay? Filming this, it only took me like 16 minutes, which is pretty good while I'm talking through. And then you want to try to clean this, but if you like put like a Q-tip, maybe if I get a wet Q-tip, I don't want to compromise the glue. struggles. Okay, so there we go. These are my tips and tricks. It like seems simple, but like some of these like small things really do make a big difference. And then what you do with like the seal it end of the FlutterHabit stuff is you just go in. It burns if you get it in your eye, okay? So be careful. I have blue eyes, I wear contacts, and like the glue and stuff doesn't bother me. But this seal, it just kind of helps it not be so sticky afterwards. And there you go. If you have any questions, tips and tricks that you think is helpful, that has helped you, leave them in the comments. Or if you want more tips, I mean, I can try to walk them through. Or if you have like specific questions or issues, let me know. If you don't have, or if you're not part of their Facebook group, like you need to be. That community, they've built an amazing community for these eyelashes, okay? And also like, they actually, like people are like, oh, can you do this? They listen and they come out with stuff like the Prep It and Seal It, the eyelash serum. I haven't tried their eyelash serum, but like, it's amazing. Okay, I'll leave that link down below as well as my link to get 15% off and these specific styles. So I hope that this is helpful and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.